YouTube. All right, welcome to another funding and business live session. And in this live, I'm going to teach you guys how to apply for SBA loan. I'm going to help you understand the ins and outs of SBA loans, how they work, and how you can make your business qualify. So if you're joining, thank you so much. Welcome. For those who will join us later, for those who will join the replay also, I appreciate you taking your time. I'm really grateful and thankful to actually be doing this, because it's over 10 years of trials and tribulations with different companies, helping them acquire working capital, even when they thought they couldn't. So today we're going to talk about how to apply for SBA loan, step-by-step guide. So if you're a beginner, you're just starting out, if you're struggling with anything, mostly how to apply for SBA loan, then this is definitely the video for you. So let me just pull up my slide, how to apply for a business loan. All right, so let's get into it. In this video, you're going to learn how to apply for an SBA loan. You're also going to learn the SBA loan eligibility requirements. You're going to learn the different types of SBA loans. You're also going to learn the advantages and disadvantages of SBA loans. You're going to finally learn the SBA resources. And I'm going to be honest with you, nobody really tells you this, but a lot of videos that I see only show you how to apply, but they don't actually give you the extra step, which is the resources. Where do we actually match with the lender, or if you need a mentor, who can you actually work with? Not just watch a video then go figure it out yourself. So in this video, by the end of this video, I'll give you guys a resource link where you can actually get lenders that can match with your business, whether you're just a startup with their cash flow is not that good, or you have issues with your credit score. You can match with the lender. The tool is actually on the SBA website, so it's not like a third party or anything. It's actually from the SBA website, again with free mentorship from well-informed volunteers who are actually working to help small business owners actually write business plans and actually package a solid application that can help them get approved. So with that said, what is the SBA loan? Let's actually start now. In basic terms, the SBA loan is simply just any loan that is backed up by the government. Like if any institution, financial institution, let's say bank, credit union, private lender, gives you money and then it gets backed up by an agency known as the Small Business Agency Administration, then that's basically SBA. But that's kind of a vague explanation. So in simple terms, an SBA, let's just think of it like, let's say when you was a kid. When you're a kid and you're in the playground, you find out the kids playing and you wanted to share some of their toys, but maybe due to some reasons the kids are not maybe comfortable sharing the toy, but the teacher shows up and says, hey guys, if you guys share the toy, don't worry, if something happens to it, I'll take care of it, or I'll pay it. Now the teacher's not the one giving out the toys, it's actually the kid. But now since the teacher stepped in and said, hey, in case something happens, I will step in and pay back, or I'll fix it, the kid now is more comfortable to give you the toy. So that's the same situation with the SBA loans. The SBA is just the agency, acts like the teacher. So the teacher is the person backing up the owner of the toy. You're the business owner who's actually asking for the toy. So that's just a vague explanation. Now, this might also be controversial, but one of the biggest myths that people have out here is that SBA loans are really hard. And with that said, that's why I want you guys to understand something called the Small Business Act, which was passed in 1953 by President Dwight. The act actually established the SBA as an independent agency, and one of its functions was actually to aid, counsel, and assist small businesses, and also preserve free competitive enterprise. I don't want to go deep into the history, but that right there actually dispels some of these myths that actually say SBA loans are impossible to qualify for, because again, if you look at the SBA Act, it was actually made to preserve free competitive enterprises. And again, one of the other reasons is with the requirements, they'll ask you, have you actually exhausted any other places to apply for SBA loan, which should be true for you unless you want to get denied. Because if they find out that you haven't actually tried to apply elsewhere, they actually deny it, because you should have exhausted other places and then now try the SBA loan based on most lenders. So the other myth is that SBA loans take forever to fund, but that's not true. Once you understand the different types of SBA loans, as we shall discuss in the video, there's some types of SBA loans that actually take 36 hours to get approved and 30 days to get funded. So the last one is also like SBA loans are for big or established businesses, but to be honest, as I said, Small Business Act, it actually says to assist small businesses. So if you're thinking like, oh, I need to be this big company, I need to have 100 employees, no, any type of small business, even a mom and pop shop, you watching, if you have a business, you actually qualify for SBA loan, and we shall talk about the requirements to see if you fit that description. So now, if it's one thing you guys take out of this video, is to actually how to use your business as leverage to acquire capital, any type of working capital. There's SBA loans, whether it's invoice, factoring, term loans, lines of credit. And the reason I say this is because all top businesses have already mastered the art of using debt to grow their business, simply because they're using their business as leverage. And how do you do that? You actually build your knowledge, like what you're doing right now, learning about the different types of SBA loans, different types of financial tools. The other thing, you also build your reputation. This is your years in business, making sure your credit score is also good. And then last but not least is your network. This is your customer base and the lenders that you can match with. As we said again in this video, I'm going to help you use a tool to actually match yourself with the lender that can actually work with you to help you apply for an SBA loan. Now, I know what you're thinking, like I've talked all that stuff, but where do you actually get an SBA loan? Which is a very, very good question. So, as I mentioned earlier, the SBA itself is an agency and doesn't really issue out loans. Instead, it works with third parties. This can include traditional banks, credit unions, private lenders, and any institution willing to work with the SBA agency to act as a third party to issue out loans. But again, as I said, I don't want you guys just running around clicking on different types of banks. There's actually a tool that you can use to match your business with the lender that can work with you, because there's so many situations. That's why they'll tell you, oh, you cannot get an SBA loan because you're a new business. You can't get an SBA loan with that type of cash flow. But actually just not getting the SBA loan because you're working with the wrong lender. There's lenders that are actually flexible. They work with new business owners. There's lenders that are so flexible, they work with a particular industry. Let's say they'll stay away from transport and logistics, but be very comfortable working with restaurants. But then like you're getting declined as a construction company, wondering what's happening, but it's because you work with a lender that's not really comfortable with construction companies. Anyway, again, as I said, just stick around. I'll show you the resource. Again, it's a SBA resource website. It's not like anything that I'm affiliated with or I'm getting bad pay. It's from the SBA website. So now, what are the requirements for you to get an SBA loan? So the requirements for you to get an SBA loan is it has to be a profitable business, meaning you have to make profit. If you're putting in 10,000, making 10,000 plus. But this doesn't really necessarily mean that the whole year you need to have profit for you to be a profitable business. You could have incurred losses. By profitable business, they just mean like you're able to make a profit eventually. Sometimes you get losses, but as long as you're able to make a profit, that's a profitable business. The other requirement is you have to be US based. So sorry, I do see a couple of Canadians and UK viewers on my analytics, but unfortunately your business has to be registered with your local government or Secretary of State here in the United States. And then the other stuff, you have to qualify as a small business. So again, in this video we're going to show you a link that you can actually use, and let me see if we can be able to pull it up. Let's see. No, not really. Let's see. Sorry guys, if you'd allow me for 1 second. Yes, I got it. There. I'm sorry guys. Alright. So this is the size standard tool that you guys are going to use to see if your business can be considered as a small business. But I'll generally say if you have less than 500 employees, you qualify. So you just come click here. Sometimes there's numbers you have to put. Let's say for example let's see what type of business they have. 2, 3. So let's say you're a caterer. So you're a caterer. 72. That's the code. 722320. So that's the code. Boom. Search, and then like let's say your revenue is 150,000 every year. Hopefully you guys are following me, and if you guys are watching, feel free to chime in with your thoughts, opinions, and questions. I love questions. Even if you're watching later, please feel free to comment, like, subscribe, and also I'll leave a link in the description for all these links, and if you want to reach out to, feel free to do that. So like as I was saying, let's say your revenue is 150,000. You check your size, and boom. So that means you actually are considered a small business. All right. So now let's continue. So the other thing is you have to have at least owner equity. Is it working? Yeah. All right. Yeah. So you have to have owner equity in your business. Like you have to own more than 20% of the business. You also have to show credit worthiness, that you can actually pay back the loan. This is what they use your credit score and check. Most lenders will look at maybe 650 and up. And then again, this other one is you have to use the funds for the approved reasons. Like whatever you're applying for, you have to specifically use for that reason. I've seen situations where people get into problems, fines, or situations where if you do not use it for the reasons mentioned, you might get declined if they find that out. Again, you must have exhausted each and every other option available to you, meaning you must have tried maybe a traditional loan, got declined, or didn't have it. And then last but not least, it cannot be either of the non-eligible industries, which include gambling, adult filming, and weed. But though there's lenders right now who are trying to be flexible in specific states, that will actually work with smoke shops or cannabis vendors. All right. Now, I actually need to talk about the different types of SBA loans, because now we've already mentioned how what is an SBA loan and all that stuff, but what are the different types of SBA loan? Now, the most popular one is the SBA microloan. Why? Because usually you don't need any type of collateral to put down for this one, and unfortunately you can only get funded a maximum of 50,000 for the SBA microloan. It's best for working capital, inventory, equipment, startup costs, or business acquisition. So if you're really looking for a smaller amount, I can actually guarantee you guys that the SBA microloan is actually one of the best loans out there, with long terms, low rates, and I would say large amount, but that's a considerable amount. So now the other one is the SBA 7A loan, which is actually one of the most popular one, and most applied for. It's usually for general business funding, and you can actually get up to $5 million in funding. It's best used for working capital, real estate, equipment, business acquisition, debt refinancing, and debt refinancing. Again, the good thing about the SBA loan, it also has like a little cousin. We actually call it like a little cousin. That's the SBA Express loan. Now, if the one thing that we all complain about business, like as business owners, is that the loan takes too long, because by the time you fill out the paperwork, you fill out applications, you wait the back and forth. Maybe the opportunity you wanted is already long gone. Like, you're trying to build your business, you're not trying to like babysit like your inbox with applications. So the SBA Express one is actually one of the fastest loans in the SBA category, because you can actually get approved within 36 hours and get funded within 30 days. Now, the terms also are usually the same, usually 3 to 7 years, and again, you need a solid credit score of 650 and above. Now, the last one is the SBA 504 loan, and by the way, these are just the three main ones, but there's several different types of SBA loans, like for disaster relief. Again, just at the end of this video, I'll show you guys lenders you can match with, and you can actually see the different types of SBA loans. This is just like a summary of the most popular, the three top ones that are usually applied for. So the SBA 504 loan actually has a loan amount of up to 15 million, and it's best for long-term fixed assets. You can use this to acquire land, do renovations, and also purchase major equipment. Okay, now let's take a look at the pros and cons of SBA loans. Now, I have to mention this, that the reason you have most of the pros is because the SBA, the Small Business Administration Agency, backs up the lenders. So when they back up the lender, look at it, think of it like this: it makes it easier to qualify for compared to a traditional loan. Look at it, because for example, let's say Bank A will have to give you 100,000, but they'll have to back it up themselves, meaning they'll have stricter rules, harder qualification processes. But like if you have an agency come in and say, hey, I'll back a portion of the 100,000 so they can get approved, guess what? Now it becomes easier for you to qualify, because now it's lower risk for the lender. Again, they'll be able to offer you a larger amount. Why? Because it's lower risk for the lender with longer terms and better rates. That's why the SBA has the best disadvantages. However, the involvement of the SBA as an agency again also brings some little drawbacks. And what is the drawback? It makes the application very, very long. Why is that? Because now they have to do thorough investigation on your business, because they're taking a risk on you. So it has to be a paper. Again, you might require some form of down payment or collateral. Again, why? Because the SBA is involved. Because now they're like, if you can be able to put down a down payment, you're showing us proof that you're credit worthy. Okay, now things that they don't really tell you about most of the time is what are lenders looking for. Now, there's basically the 4 C's. Usually it's like capacity, collateral, credit score, and cash flow. But for the SBA loan, they're actually just looking for these 4 things. And again, if you get matched with the lender that can actually be flexible with some of these things, that'll be a very, very good move for you and your business. So with the collateral, first of all, let's just put it out there that if you're doing the micro loan, which is 50,000 and below, most lenders will not really require to put up any type of collateral. And with the credit score, again, it varies lender from lender, but most of them will want a 650 and up. There's some that are very strict and will only work with the 700 and above, but again, that's the reason why you should stick around and see how to match your business with the right lender. Probably it's going to be for all the way up. Again, you need steady cash flow. This shows the lenders that you're responsible with your money and the health of your business bank account. Because if you're responsible with your money, then you're going to be responsible with my money, right? Then most lenders will also require to to put down a down payment. So this is like a further guarantee for the loan. For example, if let's say you get approved for 100,000, you require 10,000 extra to just get approved for the loan. It just kind of lowers the risk for the lender. Now, so my thing is, why is actually no one talking about this part? Because as I said, I've watched a lot of videos out here and they're well packaged in terms of teaching you guys how to apply, but then they just leave you out there like that. Nobody really shows you where do you actually get a lender. Yes, you can walk into any bank, but you want somebody you can talk to, somebody you can build a relationship with. And this is what we're going to do in this right now. With the tips and checklist, the first thing you need to do is fix your credit score. There's no way around it. There's really no way around it. However, there's other types of loans you can actually apply for that are actually approved with a bad credit, or let's just say low credit, because life happens. And if you're interested in figuring out like the different types of loan, click the link in the description where you can master the art to grow your business, and we can actually help you get funded with a financial tool that actually meets your needs. Now, how do you work with a specialized lender? Let's just get to the source of the whole thing. So this link goes straight to the SBA website where it actually help you find a lender, and you can even see a lender who prefers to work with restaurants and not small truckers. So here's the checklist. Let's see. So now again, as you can see, apparently if you're watching this right now, I don't know what day and time it's going to be, whether it's going to be in the near future. Please note that on this date, the current government has been shut down. Okay, so with that said, the SBA loan has no funding. That's why you see this red part. So it's actually just shut down, but that's not going to stop us from learning, is it? So now, this is how you connect to a lender. Lender Match connects you to lenders. To get matched to potential lenders, funding with competitive rates and fees. So all these are SBA approved lenders. This is, again, we can confirm this is the SBA website, www. If you can see it up here, fund.gov, right? So this is how it works. First of all, you have to describe your needs. Do not use ChatGPT to describe your needs. I'm kidding. Just describe your needs. And then second thing, once you do that, you're going to be matched within 2 days with the lender that can actually meet your needs. That's what I'm saying. A lot of videos out here just show you how to apply. They don't show you the extra step of somebody actually working with you to do this. And then the third thing is talk to the lender. I'd advise, if possible, talk to more than one lender. And again, if you're not able to apply for an SBA loan and you feel like it's a little bit far-fetched for now based on maybe years in business or your credit score, we do have other alternatives, but I'm not going to dive too much into that. Just click the link in the description on Mastering the Art of Growing Debt for your business, and we can sit down and help you acquire working capital that actually meets your needs. All right, now last but not least, as we were saying, once you talk to your lender, you apply for the loan with the lender that you're actually comfortable with. All right, now as we were saying again, now this is the checklist that you need to have. This is the checklist that you need to have. You need to have a business plan. You need to know the amount and of funds that you want and what you're going to use it for. You need to check your credit history, and then you need to have financial projections. Again, I'll show you guys where to go to get the business plan and financial projections. Now the industry experience, usually that's what they say, 2+ years in experience. The collateral that's just plain explanatory, because with collateral you can use your houses. You cannot use stocks, but they can use houses or land. Okay, now to summarize this, we've already talked about the different types of SBA loans, which is the 504, the 7A loan, and the express loan and the micro loans too. And then we've talked about what lenders are looking for, collateral, all that, your credit score. Again, what are your requirements for an SBA loans? You have to be an US based. Again, you have to be a small business. And now I've helped you guys match with the lender. I have that link in the description, which we actually did not finish doing. I'm sorry, guys. I don't think we finished matching with the lender. So for you to once you do this is just how you get ready. And then you find a lender here. You click find a lender. You put your name, address, continue, and then they'll contact you. So I didn't finish that part. Skippy. But again, if you have any questions, please feel free to comment in the section. If you have any opinions, if thoughts, questions. I love questions. I really love questions. But anyway, now last but not least, I'm going to help you guys get you a mentor. Now they're called SCORE, because SCORE is a group of well-informed individuals who can help you package an application and write a solid business plan. So here's the link. I have the link in the description too. The name is SCORE. So once I have the link in the description, so you just how to find a mentor. You can find a mentor here. It's pretty simple. Like, I'm not affiliated with them either, but then you put your zip code. For example, I'm in Manhattan, 10033. And then you put your name, your last name, email address, and all that, and that would be it. So guys, let's see, any questions? John, are you still here? John, if you're still watching, because I have a TikTok. Hey John. Yeah, I'm checking the TikTok. Say hi, John. Oh, hi John. And hi Mohodi. John, are you still watching? If you're still watching, give us a thumbs up, a like, drop an emoji, because I just finished the class right now. I was gonna give it another 2-3 minutes. And guys, if you enjoyed the video, thank you very much for tuning in. We're going to be doing this every day at 9, between 8:30 and 9. It was an honor. Gracias por ver mi video. And I'll see you guys in the next